Welcome to PB Under 5. I'm Pastor Brandon, and it's my mission to inspire you today with some biblically based content that will help you to go further into a greater level of leadership. And today we're continuing a series in the Gospel of John on the leadership of Jesus. And today we're going to examine a conversation that Jesus had as he was on trial and before his crucifixion with Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor. And so I want to take a look at that conversation in John chapter 18, starting in verse 33, where he says, then Pilate was taken back into his headquarters and called for Jesus to be brought to him. And he asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And Jesus replied, "Is this your own question, or did others tell you about me?" And Pilate responds, "Am I a Jew? Your own people and their leading priests brought you to me for trial. Why? What have you done?" And Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not an earthly kingdom. If it were, my followers would fight to keep me from being handed over to the Jewish leaders. But my kingdom is not of this world." And Pilate says, "So you are a king?" And Jesus responded, "You say I am a king. Actually, I was born and came into the world to testify to truth. And all who love the truth recognize that what I say is true." Pilate responds and says, "What is truth?" And what's really crazy about that conversation is we really see kind of the contrast in views on leadership, really. As we see, Pilate sees his leadership as he understands a king as somebody who's going to come and rule and take for himself what he deserves and all that stuff. And, he's somebody who's seeking power and freedom for himself and advancement and all that sort of thing. Whereas Jesus comes and he says, no, my kingdom is not of this world. And I lay my life down, basically, is what he's saying to Pilate in this instance. And so I see that contrast in leadership. And so often, I know in my own life too, I've been tempted to believe that leadership is more about what I can get out of it, about the pursuits of, if I get this promotion, then I'm going to have more control, or I'm going to be able to do what I want to do, or I'll have more money or whatever. And that really is not the case. That when I get to that next level, I'm not actually fulfilled if those are what I'm seeking. But Jesus says that the way to fulfillment is through laying down our lives for each other, that living that kingdom that's not of this world is using our leadership, using our abilities to sacrifice for the sake of others. And I know a couple weeks ago I shared with you guys a story of me leading a campus ministry and how I drove it into the ground. And I realized that in that moment that I was trying to pursue the leadership of that ministry for my own sake. And when I realized that I was doing that and repented and turned and said, "God, I need your help to sacrifice for the sake of others," that's when that ministry turned around and started being healthy, is because I started the shift from leading for my own sake to starting to lead a kingdom not of this world, and started loving people the way that God would want me to love them. And so I encourage you today to think about ways in your life that, whether you're leading your family or a team at work or a small group, to think about how you are serving them, how you can use your gifts to serve them and not just try to use your leadership as a benefit to yourself. Because that's not going to be ultimately fulfilling to you, because the only way that you can find fulfillment in this life is if you lay your life down like Jesus did, surrendering your life so that you can see other people grow and develop and become all that they're called to be. So I'll leave you guys with that this week. Again, thank you so much for taking 5 minutes of your time to listen and to hear this, and I hope it inspires you. And if it does, I encourage you to subscribe and to share it with your friends, and we'll be back next week as we continue this series in the Gospel of John.